For many consumers, access to credit is the bridge to a more stable future. And for decades, credit unions have helped families plan and navigate financial challenges. We're here to share expert insights on how credit unions help consumers access credit, manage everyday expenses, and maximize financial benefits is Tony Hernandez, President and CEO of Defense Credit Union Council. Good morning, Tony. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Elliott. It's great to be with you and all your listeners in Las Vegas.
Yeah, they're very excited to hear more from you. So obviously, frequent moves and deployments can disrupt a military family's budget. How are credit unions helping these families stay on track with specialized tools?
Well, we have a number of credit unions that are located on military bases, such as Nellis Air Force Base there in the Las Vegas area. And because they're on the base, they understand the hardships that come from a military deployment or a long training cycle or even moving across the country. And so credit unions talk to each other. We understand what happens before families leave or before they get ready for deployment, and getting the house ready or getting the family vehicle done, so the military member doesn't have to worry about those things when they're serving in harm's way. But even on the other side of that move, if it's a PCS move, there's a lot of unknowns, childcare being the biggest one, spouse employment's another one, and just understanding some of those things can help the family. So there's a number of loan programs and other programs that the credit unions have through their foundations that can help the military make that transition a little easier, which translate into peace of mind. And when you don't have to worry about the family, then the member can do their job, which is what we train them to do when they go and deploy in harm's way.
Yeah, another thing you mentioned there was some aspects outside of, military service. And another thing people might be doing is thinking about their transition afterwards. So how do credit unions help veterans who want to transition from active service to owning a business on Main Street?
Well, I'll tell you, Elliott, we've got some great programs. When I was in the military, as a commander, and I was in the Air Force, we had great programs that taught our great airmen on how to get their professional licenses, whether it was ASE certified for auto mechanics or an HVAC license, or carpentry or plumbing, electrician, communications, all those things. And so when the military member decides to separate from the military and go and start their own business, they already have all the training they need. They just need a hand up on getting some capital to start their businesses. So joining a credit union that understands a local community can make those loans so that the military member can make that transition and become a business owner. And credit unions are great because they want to keep the money in the community, which drives that economic engine in those communities, which makes it better for everybody all around. And so we really encourage people to check out their local credit union to see what programs they offer in terms of member business lending.
Yeah, with regards to those programs, are there any kind of special services that are offered to ex-military members?
Well, there are. I know the government through the SBA has some great programs, the Small Business Administration. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has a number of programs also. And so we work with a lot of government agencies on what those programs mean. And so credit unions do the same thing, and just interfacing with whether if it's a 7A loan through the SBA or a grant through USDA, a lot of credit unions are involved in a lot of those programs, and we can help those members make those good plans, get those great business loans, and get started on their own business.
Is there anything out there right now that could affect how credit unions are serving their members?
Yeah, there were two things that recently happened, and they happened simultaneously. The first was a 10% interest rate cap on credit cards, which sounds great. 10%. Who wouldn't want to move from a high interest rate down to 10%? But that's actually kind of bad when you read the fine print, because you have to qualify for that 10%. If you have a low credit score, you're not going to get a 10% interest rate or credit card rate. You're going to have to rely on other people to supply your what you were using your credit card for in order to make those short-term purchases. Credit unions have always operated under an 18% rate cap, which was good and fair, but dropping it to 10% makes it very difficult to sustain a lot of those loans. And so that was not good. The other one piece of legislation was a Credit Card Competition Act. And that's where big box retailers wanted to have Congress force, safe, secure networks to give up some of their interchange to cheaper networks so that big box retailers can make a higher profit. Now, bear in mind, none of that profit was going to be distributed back to consumers in terms of lower prices. There's been studies on this where prices are either going to stay the same or they're going to increase. So this is not good for the consumer. This is good for those big box retailers. But when you go to a cheaper network, it's unsecure. It's not backed by the latest, anti-hacking software or all the safeguards that exist out there. And so you're really taking a chance with a cheaper network. And what's interesting is that the merchants want this legislation, but they don't want any accountability. And so, who's left holding the bag? It's usually the credit union that has to make whole, because we try to take care of our members. And so we're very much opposed to this legislation. They make it sound really good, but when you read the fine print, it's really not.
Well, Tony, we appreciate the information and your insight this morning. So thank you very much. Have a great day.
Great, Elliott. Great talking to you.
Great talking with you too. Now learn more about how credit unions deliver to help everyday families. Just head to dcuc.org.